What is up, guys? Welcome to This Week in Wrestling by the Straight Edge Wrestling Podcast, October 25th. Hell in a Cells tonight, with the whole 5 matches.
Yeah, but only anyone really cares about one.
Probably true.
And
maybe
Randy and Drew.
Randy and Drew as well.
One.
Yeah. Well, if you're new here, please.
Actually, no, I forget. Technically, now the other match is quite important about the Money in the Match.
The Money in the Bag, yes, we'll get onto that because that's quite funny. But if you're new here, please like and subscribe to us here on this channel. Head on over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast, where I'll be following along live with Hell in a Cell tonight. So this week, what did you think about the wrestling this week?
Fucking weird. Every show had weird shit going on in it.
It was bizarre.
Raw started weird. Even going into the match with the Fiend. This Fiend coming back, this Fiend come back.
Yeah. I gotta say this. There was a lot of things I hated on Raw this week. I really, really liked quite a bit of SmackDown.
Why is it not surprising when it comes to Raw? There's a lot you hate.
Yeah, every week it's like
you're a breaker,
and I'll be honest with Raw, I actually switched it off after the very first segment and then came back and watched it later because I thought the first segment was maybe the worst thing they've done in 20 years. But then the SmackDown I liked, AEW I liked. Didn't watch NXT this week because I was just done with wrestling after Raw. To be honest, I was a bit annoyed.
I didn't watch NXT, but I'll watch the other show that was on the Wednesday because I was done with wrestling.
No, I watched AEW actually later. I watched AEW on the Thursday, and then
you can still watch NXT the same time as you can watch it.
Yeah, but WWE, and
yeah, but NXT is a better show than anything else they do anywhere else. So
sometimes, but it's like most of them really at the moment, isn't it? They're all hit and miss pretty much all the time. SmackDown is probably the most consistent, bizarrely, right now. But Raw, starting off with that goddamn Retribution angle and the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. Now, I loved Alexa and the Fiend in the middle of the ring. I thought that was great. And then it was all downhill from there because, firstly, someone was clean knocked out from Retribution in that match, and they just ignored it and let the match continue, but whatever. And then Retribution lost the match from a full Nelson. T-Bar tapped out to a full Nelson. The biggest guy tapped out to a full Nelson from the Hurt Business. Great.
Don't forget it's Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, but whatever. Who cares? But also, who cares? But if they're going to do that, let him beat the small guy, not the biggest guy on the team. But also, they shouldn't have been being beaten right now. And then what happens? The Fiend comes out and fucking kills all of them.
Yes, Fiend.
Oh, we've known for weeks, we've said for weeks that the Retribution's a joke. I think this solidifies they're basically just dead in the water. But I'll lay money on.
What happens when you put Ali as the leader?
Yeah. Well, this is what's even funnier. They then have a match and go back to Hurt Business backstage with Ali cutting a promo about being the hacker, and like they're all big tough guys, and you're like, we just saw you got beaten up by one dude. Like, come on. But I'll lay money on one of two things happening here. Either we get a random match tonight on Hell in a Cell where the Retribution beats the Hurt Business and gets their win back, or they do it on Raw.
And then Finn beats the shit out of them all out again.
Yeah, probably. But then we get it on Raw. We get Retribution beat the Hurt Business on Raw because it's got to be 50-50. Because it sounds like what the plan was a Retribution 5-on-5 match for Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really care about that now. We just saw one guy beat them all. Like, come on. Why do we go up 5-on-5?
Yeah, but can you classify technically the Fiend as a guy?
Okay.
But or do you classify him as Mick Foley that loves pain?
Yeah. But the only other thing I actually really didn't like about Raw was Keith Lee and Braun Strowman, to be fair. The rest of it I didn't mind, but like those two things annoyed me so much. Keith Lee being beaten by Braun Strowman, just because, and again, it'd be the same thing as Retribution. You damn well know either on Hell in a Cell tonight or Raw on Monday, Keith Lee's going to beat Braun because they just go back and forth with these things. So I just hate, I don't get any of it. At
least the security guard from Underground's got a new job.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was funny. He came out with AJ Styles and intimidated the ref a little bit. I thought that was fun because
I'm looking
obviously,
at a picture of it right now. That's fucking awesome.
yeah. So they obviously they killed off Raw Underground.
Bastards.
So they needed something for I think his name's Jordan Omega Behin or something like that. I don't want to get it wrong, but I think it's Jordan Omega Behin.
I'm just going to call him Jordan because I'm not going to try the Omog Behan.
I'm sure it's Omega Behin or something. Yeah, but first he was the ninja.
Was he?
And he was the big tall ninja, yeah, and then he was the bodyguard for Lucha Underground, and now he's AJ's bodyguard.
Lucha Underground? When was
Lucha Underground?
Lucha Underground?
Raw Underground. Oh, clearly not a ripoff. Raw Underground, and so third time's a charm. Hopefully this will work for him. I like that. I thought that was good, to be honest. I thought that was really smart because AJ's such a hateable fucking heel, so like it's great having that the heater behind him. I love that. The women's stuff was just a mess, really, with Lana and Asuka.
I didn't really care about it.
No, and to be honest,
I can't say I really tuned in too much about it.
No, and to be honest, when I was watching it, I was thinking, I honestly, because I didn't really pay much attention to when Lana won the Battle Royal last week, I kind of thought that the match was for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I didn't really pay attention to the fact that it was for Raw this week. So when it was on for the title, I was like,
watching these shows.
Okay, cool.
Great job reporting this shit.
Yeah, but it's sort of, I think it tells you just how little I care. Other than that, there was nothing really on the show.
No, I had a good ending to it with Randy and Drew in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So,
like pulling the bolt cutters out and cutting the door and stuff. I like that. But other than that one story, I don't think anything else really got anywhere.
Well, I was also confused why we suddenly had a women's tag team championship match as well. That just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and this is a weird thing. Like,
don't get me wrong, it was actually quite a good match, but it was just fucking random.
But this is a weird thing as well. Like, I heard Sean Ross Sapp and Jimmy Van on Fightful podcast this week talk about this, how they're already playing fast and loose with the brand split, with the women's, the women are coming and going and stuff. And it's like, well, no, the only women tag team which is allowed to travel is the champs, but they're already just sort of playing fast and loose with tag teams and who can be where. But
well, they've taken away the rule that you still had 4 shows.
Well, apparently so, but they've never mentioned it, right? Like they've never. It's like the Otis thing on Raw, where he came out in the mask and what have you, which was funny. I liked it, but it also it's like
that was not Otis.
He wasn't Otis. He was I can't think of his name. Something Macarena Posada, whatever.
He was a Mexican luchador.
Yeah. But like that sort of thing, especially when the commentators are sitting there going, "Oh, come on, it's Otis!" Like they're not playing dumb like they used to. So it's like, okay.
Well, one of them was.
Oh yeah, but dickhead. Like that's right. But they were like, "Oh, come on, that's clearly Otis," which I thought, thank God, because I was sitting there thinking, "Oh, they're going to make us play dumb, aren't they?"
It was El Gran Gordo.
Oh, is that his name? Oh, yes. So yeah, the tag team name was Macarena Posada. That was it. That's what they called it.
Because I just saw Tucker and El Gran Gordo.
El Gran Gordo, yeah. Yes, but yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought that was good. But yeah, there was really nothing much on Raw, which is weird for a go home show for a pay per view. But then again, they didn't really build any stories for the pay per view. There's only 5 matches,
So yeah. You had a few good segments in there, a few dodgy things.
I think it was made more dodgy.
It managed to. It ended on a high between Randy and Drew.
And I've
I kind of, as soon as the cell came down, I kind of called that. Drew secretly puts in the bolt cutters
somewhere
with the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I've been nothing but complimentary to Drew and Randy basically throughout the whole thing. I think everything they do is great and that they kill it every time.
Do we feel now it's about time Randy Orton won the belt?
Yeah, either he wins it or they move on. But if he wins it, they're not going to move on. You know what I mean?
So Randy Orton's already said if he doesn't win it, he's going to keep coming after the title.
Yeah, exactly. So like, he's either got to win it, and then even though they've said many times that you don't get rematches automatically for titles anymore, but that seems to have just disappeared out of thin air. They bring it up whenever they want.
The wrestling business, they do
follow their own rules.
Let's be honest, AEW said came with a load of bullshit to us before they ever started their first show
About
and went out the window in 2 weeks.
Yeah, stats and real wrestling, and it's all going to, wins and losses are going to matter and all this. Yeah. Talking of AEW, let's move on to AEW.
I was going to go on to NXT, but you're all right.
We'll talk about AEW then NXT. So AEW, I'll say this right. I don't care about anything else that happened on that show. The one segment which made my wrestling week and probably nearly my 2020, if it wasn't for like the Boneyard match, was that damn Chris Jericho MJF musical segment. I have watched it so many times.
So fucking weird.
Oh, it's bizarre.
It's just a fucking clue what was going on. And Jericho should not be trying to do show tunes because he struggles in his own voice. I mean, you see in his face, he's struggling hard. But it's very entertaining.
He was like red and blustery. It's even funny. Like Jericho's the one in the band, and MJF sounded better than him. That's what's funny.
It's completely different music.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. I thought it was genius. And as I watched it, the only thing that was going through my mind was, oh, I bet somewhere in the world, Jim Cornette's mind is going bang right now. And so I made a point of listening to Jim Cornette's show this week just to hear his review on that, because he's been putting over MJF big for years, and he just said MJF is dead to me. He's dead to me. That's it. He's dead to me. And it's like, good. If I get more of this, great. I'm fine. It's entertaining. Like this is what we've always been. We've been speaking about this. Like, why is it different to any other TV show? Let it be entertaining. I thought it was stupid comedy, but
fucking weird.
Oh, mental, completely mental, and like it was always going to divide the audience, right?
As I said, it was very entertaining. I just did not understand what the fuck was going on. It's one of those moments where I think you need to be on drugs to understand what's happening right now.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it so much. I've gone back and watched it maybe 8 times.
And yet you still don't understand what's going on with it, yeah?
No, it's great. It's amazing.
This is the reason why you didn't watch fucking NXT this week, because you were too busy watching one segment.
It's amazing because it's like they've been telling that story of them two having like a weird love-hate relationship between themselves, like they respect each other because of how much of arseholes each other is, and now they're finally coming together. I think that's great. I'm looking forward to seeing what.
I couldn't work out if they were trying to form each other in a tag team in that, or
that's what I'm assuming.
They started singing, and then they started singing something else, and then I was like, "What the
fuck?" Me and my shadow. So, like, I'm going to assume that that's what they're going for. They're going to go for a tag team.
And then I got scared on how red in the face Jericho's getting, that he was going to drop on the floor and either have a heart attack or a stroke.
My favorite thing was that they were dancing with those women, and both of them they like tipped them over, and then they both just let them drop to the floor. That made me laugh so much. It's like, that summed them up.
Well, that's the classic heel thing to do, isn't it? So
yeah, it's great. Also on the show, well, just before AEW went live on air, it was announced that Joey Janela had been in contact with someone who had tested positive for COVID. There's been a couple of indie shows that basically have ravaged through indie wrestlers. And that's why lots of people have been off of AEW for the last few weeks, because they've been wrestling for Game Changer Wrestling. And
surely at this point, if they've got a contract you want to try and go, guys, that's not the time they're in right now. I'm always giving you money every week. Please just don't go to other shows right now. Let's be safe.
And like Joey Janela was at Game Changer. He's actually got a big part in Game Changer. I don't know if he owns it or he's the booker or what, but he's got a big part in Game Changer. And that was where several guys from AEW, I won't say who because not all the names are out there as to who tested positive, but have over the last month tested positive. We know some of them because they were announced on the show and they were pulled from the shows, Brian Cage and people like that. But yeah, so he was pulled from the show. So just before AEW went live,
Brian Cage was on the show.
No, not this week. I mean, over the last month, where people have been pulled at points over the last month. We know that. We got told that Sonny Kiss was going to replace Joey Janela, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, please don't let Kenny and Sonny have a competitive match for this when they've just announced it." I loved that. I thought that was perfect.
Well, I quite like how they did all this thing, and I quite like the way that it's going to be Hangman and Kenny in the finals.
Yeah,
I just don't know right now and quite know who's going to win.
Right, exactly. Which way to go with it? Because they could go either way.
I know which way to go with it. Hangman all the fucking way, but
right. But then also in the same respect, they're sort of pulling that trigger finally on the cleaner Kenny Omega again, right? So it's like, oh, I'm quite interested in seeing that, like kind of Kenny. But yeah, we've both had Hangman's back for the best part of a year now.
I want Hangman to take his head off.
Yeah, that's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to that.
Hangman's the best character and one of the best characters in the show. So
yeah. Like, but Hangman Kenny at Full Gear, that'd be great. I think they did quite a bit of storytelling on this, like in various ways. The Jericho MJF thing was a different kind of storytelling, but great. The Kingston and Moxley thing I thought was really good. I thought really good. It sort of told you about
where they keep taking their own shots at one another separately.
Yeah, and it's like they're telling you about the fact that they were friends and they wrestled on the indie circuit together and all this. Like they're telling you about how John they were once friends.
If you listen to Kingston, it does sell out.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a nice little thing, and I reckon at Full Gear they're gonna tear the living shit out of each other. I think once again the only thing is like they always drag out the matches and it's always 30-minute long matches, and I kind of get bored.
Yeah, but between those two, there'll probably going to be weapons and stuff involved, which makes it
no. I'll love that. I mean on Dynamite this week, like it's always like 20-minute match. That's why I was so surprised when Kenny and Sonny kiss was like it was a squash basically. Because I was like, whoa, they actually did it. They did a squash.
God, mate, I did quite like the number one contender four-way match for the tag team titles.
Really good match.
Because they all had their own little bit of stories to tell. Commentators did a great job.
Yeah, except Alex Reynolds was knocked clean out in this match, right? Like it was quite scary, really, the fact that the ref never went over to him.
No, actually, if you say all of that, if you actually if you read what he states in Twitter, he thanks them all because he said the ref checked everything, the other people checked, they sorted me out.
Yeah, but they didn't. Like he said it, but they didn't. Like that was the weird thing. They didn't. Like it's on video, and you can go back and watch it. That no one went out. The only thing that happened was they dragged him to the corner to tag him out. The ref never physically went over to him. You can hear him at one point. The ref go, "Are you okay?" and then carry on reffing. And it was like, I don't know. So when he was completely out of it, and then for I can't remember which buck it was to pick him up and try and do moves with him when he was like not on his feet. It was bizarre. Like this is the exact thing which people were, shitting on, and you can't blame Alex Reynolds at all. Once again, because he's knocked out. It's the exact same thing they were shitting on him for over Matt Hardy, a month ago. It's weird. But then, as I say, WWE done the same thing in the Retribution match this week, which no one seemed to have caught. Really, was that one of the members of Retribution was knocked clean out by a knee in the corner and fell out the ring, and then got back and was stumbling until he was able to get tagged out. And the match wasn't called. Like, I just find it so weird that these things are happening. I don't know. It made it a bit unsettling to me watching the end of that tag match. I thought it was really good right up until the point where Alex Reynolds was like murdered in the ring, basically. But yeah, he says he's fine, which is great. But also, like, he's going to thank those guys because, of course, he's going to thank those guys. But it should have been like a stop, or they should have taken the action away from him and not included him back in the match. I was a bit scared. Yeah. But NXT, I didn't watch it this week.
Well, to be honest, you should have done because the opening match was fucking great. The triple threat match, Kushida, Velveteen Dream, Tommaso
Ciampa.
Because, no offense, Ciampa jumps Velveteen Dream as he's coming down the ring. And, well, Velveteen Dream just gets battered this whole match. He barely gets anything. It's fucking great to watch Kushida get the victory. But
it's all we need to see is Dream getting battered.
Well, that's all that's all NXT are doing.
That's what they're doing.
They're just fucking destroying him each week. Good. He deserves it, bastard.
But obviously, I think no, I agree. I think the big thing coming out this week, right, is Pat McAfee returned after having taken out Undisputed Era throughout the show.
We don't technically know.
We don't know that yet.
Technically, who took them out?
Yeah, we don't know
just
that
because he showed up at the end of it doesn't mean he was a guy. Could be the big hench British bloke. You don't know. But I dare say, if you watch next week, you might find out. So watch NXT next week.
Yeah, but yeah, so Pat McAfee's back, which is great because people, I think people were writing him off as like not coming back, like a one and done, which I think
it'd be stupid because of how good he was.
He was great.
But
yeah,
bigger news than that though was Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
I love the story they've been telling about this, where he keeps getting his thing, and then he tried again twice against fucking Reed.
Yeah.
Did the whole match, then it was like, no, I'm not done. Let's do this again. Got bad straight away, and then says he quits.
Yeah. So now the question is, are they continuing the Austin Theory thing with NXT, or they're allowing him back up to the main roster? You know,
I don't know. If you just had the spell you had on NXT, why the fuck would you be allowed back on the main roster?
Well, you know, it doesn't surprise me with them because they just kind of assume that people don't watch NXT. You know, so that like the NXT thing and the main roster thing are two separate things. I mean, Retribution sort of sums up how they look at, you know, the NXT stars.
Well, maybe he just decides, you know, fuck it, I quit. I'm going to AEW.
Even better. Even Wednesday, he just turns up there, like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm interested. There's a lot of stories. I mean, like I missed this week, but I have been watching NXT actually for the past few months, and I've loved what they've been doing with Austin Theory.
There's a few little bits that I enjoyed from the show that quite entertaining, like the Gargano's house again, where they.
Yeah, I saw that clip, and they got the spin the wheel.
But it's Johnny with, but I hate wheels. Why'd you go wheel it? I don't know wheel. Spins it, gets buried alive. What?
I find it so funny this week on 83 Weeks Eric Bischoff. Like obviously the spin the wheel make the deal thing was a invention by WCW back in the early 90s for Halloween Havoc, and this week on 83 Weeks Eric was burying the creation of spin the wheel make the deal, saying how awful it was, and then Conrad said to him, hey, you know, WWE just brought it back this week for the thing, and he was like, oh well, maybe they'll make it work.
So but then and followed that though, you also had the great tag team of Drake Maverick, Killian Day. But it was quite good this time because Drake Maverick lost his temper because Killian Day was in the corner. Submission thing or something like that being done to him. The other guy managed to get up, Drake Maverick, get from that. Drake Maverick lost his shit, got a chair, battered one of them, and he battered the other one. They've lost by DQ, and all of a sudden at the end of it, they thought, you know, once again, Killian's going to knock him out. No, he hugs them and says, I love that. until the music plays and he gets pissed off and walks off.
I do that. It's such a batshit tag team. I love it. It's great. But so SmackDown.
New tag. Well, don't forget.
New tag team champions.
New tag team title.
Oh yeah, of course. When Pat McAfee revealed himself, it was at the end when Danny Burch and Orny Lorcan picked up the win and
you're trying to jump straight to fucking Pat McGee just because you didn't watch the show and don't understand everything great that happened in NXT.
I mean, the thing is, I saw it all on Twitter. I just didn't actually see it in any order, so I don't really know what order it came in.
So you're going to go straight to the main thing, which is less important than Austin Theory quitting. I'm sorry.
Despite we know he'll have a match on NXT next week.
I don't know, I'm hoping they sort of drag it out and you have someone trying to chase him, bring him back now.
Maybe they might do.
Do it right
if they do it right. So yeah, SmackDown. We had the Kevin Owens show kicking off SmackDown with Daniel.
I did like all the opening to this, but even the opening match thing where. But the problem is, after all of this bit happening, the match about Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan wanted like maybe teaming up. You don't have Daniel Bryan off with the Intercontinental title at the end of all of it, which then goes is still continuing single. So everything you just did was pointless.
Yeah. And do you know what like my highlight of all that was, which is so ridiculous, was after the match when they're doing that thing backstage with the Street Profits and all that, Daniel Bryan shouting out, fist me boys, fist me boys.
The thing is them there weren't it's just like Kevin get what? Oh my god. Oh, maybe this was a bad mistake in having my decking button.
How he did that with a straight face, I would never no. That was genius. I love that so much. Fist me boys. Oh, brilliant. And throughout the show, we had Law and Otis, obviously a rip-off of Law and Order, with JBL as the judge, Ron Simmons as the bailiff.
The thing is, I was more upset that they didn't try and get Undertaker.
I was thinking it. I was like, would it be a bit too much to have Undertaker for that role? But
it would have been great to have Undertaker as that.
it would. At this point, we know Mark Calloway, we know the character and stuff. So why not?
Well, you've just done a whole fucking documentary thing where everyone states that he was the
judge. Yeah,
in court.
Yeah, and that
he's got an awful lot to do right now.
Yeah, and that JBL was the prosecutor. They could have had JBL in there as the prosecutor. It would have been perfect.
Yeah, but then Miz would have had the second.
Yeah, that's true. I did love all of this. I loved my favorite thing in all this was Asuka giving her testimony, and then Teddy Long popping up as the stenographer in the corner. And
I just love the way JBL was like, "Did you get all of that?"
Yeah, he was just there, and Asuka going player at the end. It was so.
I just like the opening bit when Otis does his statement. Well, I won the match.
Yeah.
And it's just and Mrs. Lawyer. Well, it's a good statement.
Yeah. It's like I won the match. I get a year to cash it in, and JBL's like, well, yeah, that's it. And then obviously Miz bribes JBL to for the match at the end. Look, it's silly, it's goofy, it's just as goofy as AEW sing along. It's great.
You're bribing the wrong part. JBL don't need money.
No, totally, it's $1 million. Yeah, that's true. No, I love that. See, if they'd have done The Undertaker, they could have just given him a couple of bottles of Jack, and then like they said that they were actually doing in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. And then it went from me really loving that to really hating the Lars Sullivan Chad Gable thing. Like,
oh yeah, so stupid.
Mainly because I tweeted out saying Gable deserves better. Lars Sullivan shouldn't be here. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. Lars Sullivan shouldn't be on the show. Gable deserves better. I'm glad they're clearly doing something with Gable.
I'm hoping they're now going to do what I've been saying before, that you need to be turning Gable into your next Kurt Angle, because that's what he is. Yeah,
he is. Like he is. Is that why they didn't see this when Kurt was still part of the damn show? I don't know why they didn't see this and make a new team angle.
Angle, yeah.
Like you remember, like you had what was Kurt Angle's team called? With Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin, was it Team Angle? Yeah. Like they could have easily just done a new Team Angle, and like Chad Gable and Jason Jordan were phenomenally good, but they didn't do it. And Jason Jordan, unfortunately, is injured. He's now working as a producer, but Gable is a phenomenal talent, and it's like I hope they've got something for him, and I hope that next week he's not just destroyed again.
Yeah, but hopefully it all goes according to our plan, like we all wanted for him.
Yeah, I just don't want to see Lars Sullivan.
No, I don't think anyone does, but apart from the people that write the paychecks.
Especially when, I can't believe they're this inept to not realise that people are behind Gable, right? And they've been behind Gable for years. So they're going to use the one person people hate to beat the person they're actually behind. Yeah, whatever. The contract signing was decent enough. It was
contract signing
between Bailey and Sasha.
Well, technically that was last week. This was technically an ambush attack.
Yeah, an ambush. Yeah, okay. Well, what should have been a contract?
Sasha do this to Bailey.
Sasha's not had a chair around her neck before.
Yeah, well, she's a bitch.
Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy. Now this is funny, right? Because when this started, I immediately was like, "Why is this not on the pay-per-view? Why is this not a pay-per-view match?" And then I actually came to, well, firstly the match was great, and they built a nice little story at the end there. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not upset that this wasn't on the pay-per-view anymore. But at the beginning, I was like,
because he's too busy trying to get with a certain Rey Mysterio.
Get with Alia. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was good. I'm actually really enjoying this new little twist to it.
Like, you needed to do something because you couldn't keep fucking having Seth and Buddy keep fighting those.
God no! Like, so yeah, I'm glad they're doing that. And then obviously the show closed with the tribal chief in the middle of the ring, getting his ass handed to him. So we see.
I do love the tribal chief, but
we see who we think is Jay on the screen. Of course, it's Jimmy, and then Jay comes and.
Do you know how hard it is for me for this one? Because I'm a Uso boy. I'm also a Roman Reigns boy.
I know.
I'm slightly rooting for Jay because he's quite fresh in the Universal Championship match, and I think he'd be a fucking phenomenal.
You've stood behind the Usos in just about when we used to do match predictions every month. No matter who they were facing, you would always choose the Usos. You've always been steadfast with your backing of the Usos.
Even when I'm like that, realistically,
you're like, they're going to lose. Yeah, you're like, they're going to lose, but
I can't
not choose them. I'm genuinely looking forward to that Hell in a Cell match tonight between them two, because I think they're going to brutalize each other.
I think it's going to be a bit less one-sided than what it was the last month.
So do I. Yeah. I think they're going to kick the living crap out of each other, and I think it's going to be
one of those sort of story things of how they tell it, like they've done with Brock, where it'll start off for like the first 5-7 minutes beating the crap out of someone, and all of a sudden they do take that the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Getting brutalized.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That was my only. As much as I loved the match, and I said it, I think the match was great. I just think there should have been an extra couple of minutes of Jey Uso having some more offense in the last match.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think this match is going to be that match. It's going to be exactly what it should be. Yeah. But we've only got 5 matches on the Hell in a Cell card. Otis versus the Miz.
Should we start trying to put in predictions right now of what could be next?
What else is going to go on there?
Is there any actual tag team titles on there yet?
No.
Which one of those do you think's going on there? Can't be SmackDown because they never make it onto it.
Yeah, there's no IC title on the line.
IC title never makes it on there.
Yeah, there's no United States title on the line. I'm trying to make it on this. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they've got a pre-show as well. So none of these matches, looking at WWE.com right now, none of these matches are listed for the pre-show.
Well, you can't afford to put another fucking take a match off of that card right now.
No.
Yeah, but they got a lot of people that like to talk, so the pre-show could just be full of people talking shit.
That's true. That's very true. And they've not announced any new matches thus far today.
You know what's going to happen? You're just going to have the show start, and next thing you know, there's going to be that will probably be your main card, and there'll be an extra match thrown on there.
Yeah,
I just can't believe you don't have a tag team. You have 3 tag team titles, and none of them are on the show. None of your secondary belts have made it onto the show.
Oh God, it's so ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, look, 3 Hell in a Cell matches is obviously going to kill a lot of time, but also 3 Hell in a Cell matches a lot, right? Like you're going to get bored probably quite easily.
Well, I don't know, because all 3 of them could be quite brutal.
I suppose, yeah. But they're also going to be inside that damn red cage with all the Thunderdome lights.
You want to know what they're doing now? Probably like the blood.
Yeah. What I don't understand is how Elias versus Jeff Hardy got onto this card when there's so many other matches which didn't.
Because they decided to put all the other matches with storylines on during the week.
Yeah, so bizarre. But anyway, yeah, we're not going to bother doing predictions. But I mean, there was an odd few bits of not really big news. But last night was TNA's or Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory.
2 new champions in that.
Yeah, I watched that last night. It was a very good show.
I'll be honest, I did not busy.
Yeah, I tell you what though, there was 2 things which I'm going to mention here. One, there was a segment between Rhino and Heath Slater, and they forgot to edit it.
Okay.
They forgot to edit it. You literally can hear the producers at one point. They start doing it, and the producers then shout, "Cut! Okay, can we go back to the beginning?" And they do it again because they forgot to cut it, which was just awkward. But
is that just how much they give a crap about those 2, or
yeah, I have no idea how they managed that one. But also, The Rock appeared on Impact Wrestling for the first time, and
he's just fucking shat himself, and now he's trying to hire Rock back to a contract.
Yeah, he inducted Ken Shamrock into the Impact Hall of Fame, which was nice. He gave a really nice speech about him, because obviously Ken Shamrock says, The Rock was the one which really made him, which is true. So yeah, it was good. And but Bret Hart gave a really nice speech about Ken Shamrock as well. And Bret Hart normally doesn't speak nicely about anyone, so that was a shocker. Bret Hart said how much he thinks of Ken Shamrock as being a legit wrestler, a legit star, because he took it seriously. He treated it like it was real, which is absolutely true. And he introduced the tap out, because before that, wrestlers either pass out or just say yes, that they submit. So which I'd forgotten about, which is kind of incredible, really. But yeah, he got inducted last night. He's never going to go back to the WWE Hall of Fame, I shouldn't think, because Triple H hates him. So, you know.
Yeah, but a lot of, no offense, Vince ain't exactly keen on Triple H, so.
Yeah, but Triple H seems to be the one which does all the Hall of Fame picks, so, you know.
Yeah, but still, Vince McMahon's the one who still runs Hall of Fame, so if he wants someone in it.
Yeah, but by the sounds of it, Ken Shamrock doesn't get along with any of them that much, so. But it's a shame, because I think... No, neither do I. I know he's wanted to go back to WWE, as many of them have, but it is what it is. I think he's having quite a cool little run over in Impact. Impact's been doing some great stuff. I've not watched a lot of it, but I've seen odd bits here and there, and by all accounts, everyone has nothing but good things to say about Impact now.
It seems to be going on. Also, I need to try and watch Ring of Honor this week because EC3 shut it up.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it, but I saw he'd done it. Wrestling starting to come back.
I'm a huge EC3 fan, and that's where WWE threw away one of the best fucking talents ever going.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, EC3 is the embodiment of everything that's wrong with the WWE system, in that they had the man there with the look which Vince McMahon creams himself over.
Person who could fucking destroy anyone on a fucking microphone.
Yeah, it's so bizarre to me. Like, Vince McMahon normally creams himself over those big guys, and he's got charisma and can talk. It's weird, and they literally did nothing with him, right? Like, it wasn't like they tried; they didn't do anything with him.
No, when he was on there, they didn't, and then they just used him in house shows, and he got injured.
Yeah, they would just sit him in catering.
They were just gonna do bullshit. And let's be honest, I didn't even bother telling him that he got put up to SmackDown. He found out by watching the show.
Yeah. I don't know.
Even on fucking NXT, he was doing well.
Yeah. Sums them up though, really. But there we are. That was this week in wrestling. We've got obviously Hell in a Cell tonight.
What a fucking weird week it was.
And what a weird week it was. You know, we've had musical show tunes, we've had Law and Order, and we've had a Fiend with an Alexa Bliss, and who done a great job as well. Yes, it's been a ridiculous week. Some highs, some monstrous lows, but I mean, I've actually enjoyed the latter end of the week. The beginning end can fuck off. Hell in a Cell tonight.
Beginning part, if I'm honest, it wasn't a bad week. It was just a fucking weird week.
Yeah, some of it was weird. The AEW and SmackDown was a very odd. Had some very odd stuff in it. But Hell in a Cell tonight, only 5 matches, 3 Hell in a Cell matches. We'll be covering all of them. We'll be live on Twitter covering them as it happens. So go over there. What's that? 5 for now. Yeah, 5 matches for now until WWE piles them on at the last minute. So head over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. We'll be live tweeting the whole thing. Please like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we'll see you next time for another video. We are out.